Want to build an app? Then let me tell you that you have clicked on the right video, because in this video I'm sharing all the major and foolproof ways to build an app, and you can choose any one from them and can start your development journey. So either you want to learn Android development or iOS development. This video will work as a roadmap for you to decide that which technology you should choose and what are the skills you need to develop in order to work on that technology and to build your skill and experience on. Hi, my name is Darshan and I provide software development services to business and professionals. From last 2 years, I have worked with many people as a team to build their software product and to scale up their business significantly in the online world. So if you have any idea into your mind that will help you to scale up your business and will help you to reach to a significant goals in your business or in your services, then let me know and you can visit this link to know more about me. So first, let me explain you that why your skills in app development cannot be wasted. Now, what I mean by this statement. So when you talk about website, in today's world, we have many options which require no coding skills, and with that also you can build pretty decent website which can solve your purpose. And the best example of this is WordPress, which has almost 43% of market share in the website world. But when it comes to app development, till this date there is no as such feasible or foolproof solution available which claims that you can build an app Android or iOS without requirement of coding skills. So that's why when you put your time and efforts into building such skill which is stable as well as has a huge demand in the market, then obviously you won't feel that you have a lack of opportunity in this skill or into this career. So that's a huge plus point, and that's why I thought to mention this point. So now let's come to the main part. Now I will share 4 technologies here or 4 solutions, from which 2 are native app development solutions or native app development technology and other 2 are hybrid app development technology. So after watching this video, I hope that you can choose best one for yourself. Every technology has its own prerequisite and learning curve. So I hope this video will help you to understand and to decide that which one suits best for you and which one you can try and can build your career. So now let's first start with the journey of Android development. Now in the Android world or in the Android development journey, the paths and ways to become Android developer has changed recently a lot. And because of that, now we have 2 paths by which you can become an Android developer. The first is kind of an old-fashioned way, but still foolproof and has complete stability and has complete official support. And second one is kind of new, and all the developers and companies are slowly transitioning their apps and services into the new way. So I will discuss both paths here, and you can choose any one from them, but eventually you have to move to the new way because slowly Google or let's say Android will stop their support to the old way. So first way starts by learning the language called as Java. Now if you come from the CS background, there are high chances that you already know this language. It is common language which is taught by the universities into their course curriculum. So there are high chances that you already know this language. Now Java works as a logic building stuff in the Android development, or you can call it as a backend part of an Android app. And maybe you already know about this news which is relatively recent, that there is this new language which is relatively new from Java called as Kotlin. So yeah, in 2017 Google has officially announced Kotlin as their official language to build Android app. But let me tell you one thing here. Does that mean that you can directly learn Java without learning Kotlin? Yeah, that is possible, but should you do that? No. Currently, Android supports both language, Java as well as Kotlin. And if you closely look to the Kotlin syntax, it's nothing but Java language without boilerplate code. So basically, Java and Kotlin are intercompatible, and you can convert your Java code into Kotlin with a single click in the Android Studio. If you already know Java, or if you start your journey by learning Java, then shifting or moving to Kotlin will be relatively easy because you already know the basic and core concepts of a programming language. And Kotlin is just an upgraded version of Java. So I would suggest if you already know Java, then start your development journey with Java and slowly move to the Kotlin. Or if you don't know Java, still you should learn Java first. You should learn the basics of Java, and then you can start your journey with Kotlin. But by knowing the Java basics, the concepts of your Kotlin language will be stronger for you, and you will easily get to know that what is the internal working going on when you develop your app. This was about the logic or backend part of an app. Now, when it comes to the front end or UI part, Android uses a language called as XML. So it's kind of the same if you have ever worked or if you ever know about the HTML. So it's kind of the same thing where the concept of tags is used. So as a whole, Android uses XML for the UI or front end part and Kotlin or Java for their backend front-end or logic part. And by combination of these two, you can build your Android app. And by working on this technology again and again, you can eventually understand it more and more, and eventually you will get your own set of experience and expertise into it. Now the second way, or kind of a modern way to build Android app, is by using the concept called as Jetpack Compose. Now this thing is recently introduced by Android or Google in 2021. So what they tried to do with Android here is to make that more stable, more sustainable, and more feasible, as well as easy to learn and easy to implement. Now what they did here is they removed the concept of XML, and from the backend they removed the support of Java language and made a Kotlin as a base language to build everything, the front end and the back end. So now with Jetpack Compose, you can basically build both UI and logic of your app by just using a Kotlin as a single base language. If you go to the official documentation of Jetpack Compose, you can see that they are using the concept of composables to build the UI of an app. So that's how by just learning a Kotlin and by just learning the concept of Jetpack Compose, you can build your app, all the front end and the back end part, and this is the modern way to build it. Now after all of this and going through all of this, you can start with Android Studio. Now Android Studio is the official tool provided by Google to develop Android apps, and you can get all the development tools, all the development libraries, and all the official support in the Android Studio itself. Now Android Studio has a kind of own learning journey which is quite easy to learn, and you can learn it from the official docs of Android, or you can take any course or can watch any videos, whichever way works for you. And after learning all of this and practicing a little bit, you are completely ready to build apps and put it on the Play Store. And now if you are confused that which way you should choose, let me give you a small suggestion. Now if you are starting new with Android, then directly start with the modern way, as the company states that in the future they will completely stop their support to the old way and completely move to the new and modern way of Android development. And if you're someone like me who have started their journey with the old way, then you can keep doing your work in the old way, but eventually after some years we all have to shift to the new way, because that will be the industry standard in the future to build Android app. Now let's start with the second technology, which is iOS development. Similar to Android, iOS development also has the requirement of learning a language. Now there is this one exceptional case in native iOS development. iOS development can only be done on an Apple Mac machine. There are although ways that by which you can develop iOS apps on a Windows machine also, but when you are building your career onto iOS development, then that is not feasible, and that is also not recommended by officials. So having an Apple machine is only way by which you can start your journey into native iOS development. So when it comes to iOS development, Apple has gone through many changes and many transitions over the year, and that itself made iOS development again going with two paths. The one is kind of an older way, and there is a new way which was introduced in 2014, and obviously you can move with the new way. There is no need to go with the old way, but whichever technology or product which was initially developed for iOS systems was developed by the old way, and there is almost 30% of the market which is still running on the old way of iOS development. But if you're starting now, then surely go with the new way, because eventually all that 30% of services and products and companies will eventually shift to the new way. Now just for the knowledge, I will discuss the old way as well as the new way here. So the old way was to learn the language called as Objective-C. Now Objective-C language was based on the C language programming with having the object-oriented concept. So initially for the iOS development, Objective-C language was used. Unlike Android, there is no concept of having a different language for UI and different language for logic building. From initial stage only, Apple has decided that they will move with only single language to build both UI and logic of an app. So with Objective-C also, the apps were built on the basis of only one language, and then in 2014 Apple introduced a new language to build all the apps for all their devices and use this single language to build the products and service for all their devices, and which was called as Swift UI. Now all the development which is made for the Apple devices is done on the Swift UI. So you can start your journey by learning the Swift UI language, and after learning that language, you have to learn their special tool which is used to build their apps and services called as Xcode. And again, the Xcode will only run if you have an Apple machine or Macintosh machine. So there are many resources. Again, there are official documentations, there are courses available, and there are videos on the YouTube, or there are articles on the internet from which you can learn. So whichever way works for you, you can go with it, and you can build your career onto iOS development. And there are less developers who are capable to build iOS systems or iOS products, and there is a huge demand for iOS development as the sales of iPhone are skyrocketed all over the world. So you can choose this native iOS development and can build your skill set onto this, and I'm sure that you will have huge opportunities for yourself in this field. So third is a hybrid technology, or called as hybrid way to build apps, which is React Native. So React Native was a solution provided by Facebook, or now called as Meta, and it was developed in 2015. Now let's first understand that what is this hybrid word means. Whatever you build using the React Native technology, whatever code you have written and will be cross-platform. That means that same code file will be used to build Android app and iOS app, and this all simply means as a hybrid solution or hybrid technology. Now to start with React Native, you first have to learn the basics of HTML and CSS, and then you have to learn the language JavaScript. And on top of that, if you know little bit about Redux and state management using Redux, then that will be an additional thing, and it will help you to understand the React Native concepts in the holistic aspect and will make you to understand the technology at its core. Now after learning these basic things, you can move to the tools which are used to develop apps using React Native technology, and the first one is VS Code. Now VS Code is a code editor basically, and you can use other code editors as well, but VS Code is a simple way to start with React Native. And along with that, to test your code or to test your files onto an emulator, you need to install additional softwares. Let's say for Android, you need to install Android Studio, and for iOS you need to install Xcode to run an iOS emulator, and all this can be done with a simple tool called as React Native CLI. Now React Native CLI is basically a CLI tool which is used as a bridge between compiling your code from a React Native file to a respective executable file on an Android emulator or an iOS emulator. So you can read about this thing on an official documentation of React Native, and similar to the other two technologies I mentioned, React Native also has its own set of classes, own set of tools, own set of learning curves, and you can learn all of this from their official documentation, or you can check out the courses or videos, whichever way works for you. Now the fourth and last one is Flutter. Now same as React Native, Flutter is also a hybrid solution, which means that you know what it means now. So Flutter was initially launched by Google in 2017, and for 3 years almost it was not that stable, and people used to hesitate to move on to Flutter because Flutter was kind of unstable and buggy, and there was not that much official support or community available to support the Flutter developer. So that's why for 3 years Flutter was in the struggle, but now in 2022 Flutter is completely stable and easy to shift onto, and there are enough community support and enough official support, and you can easily start your journey with Flutter. Now Google has kept a very simple prerequisite to start with Flutter is to learn the Dart language, which is officially developed by Google just to work onto the Flutter technology. Now you can learn Dart language from its official documentation, and again you can choose any resources that you want. And the other tools that you can use to work on a Flutter technology is either IntelliJ IDEA, which is a product developed by a company called as JetBrains, and you can also use Android Studio because Flutter and native Android development are both the things developed by Google. So you can start your journey with Android Studio, and Android Studio has all the tools that you will require to start your journey with Flutter. And at the same time, you can test your apps on an Android platform on Android Studio itself. That makes it easy for you to test your apps as well as to build a code onto a stable environment, which is a foolproof environment and has a potential to build production grade product or a production grade app. So these were all the 4 technologies that I think are very stable and are official ways to move into an app development journey. Now there may be a question arise into your mind that there are so many things and so many ways to learn it, and there are so many options. So which one I should choose? So let me give you a small suggestion from my own experience, and I guess that will help you. Now no matter which technology you choose to work onto, the best and foolproof way to learn it is to go on to the respected documentation of that technology, and you can get pretty much everything you want to start with that technology on their official documentation itself. So the best way is to go through official documentation. But if you are starting new into the software development journey, then it may be quite hard for you, or it may be quite hectic for you to read and to learn from the official documentation because of the jargons they use into their documentation, which is a technical language kind of thing. So because of that, you may feel kind of overwhelmed and kind of hard to learn from there. So in that case, you can learn from the courses, which is the best way. You can go through all these websites called as Udacity, Udemy, and there are many tutorials on the YouTube as well. So you can learn from courses and tutorials. It will give you a boost into your learning journey. Now there is this another resources which I have used personally into my journey, which is called as learncodeonline.in. It's same as a Udemy or a Udacity, but it worked for me. So you can check it out as well. But let me give you a small suggestion here, a kind of a small pro tip. No matter from which resource you learn, any course, any videos, any articles will only can explain you the basic of that technology, which will help you to start with that technology. Now, if you want to become a great developer into any of the technology, if you want to become a pro grade developer into it, then no matter from which resource you learn, after learning it, you have to start building something on your own. And that will help you to build a kind of experience or kind of expertise into that technology. So keep this thing in mind that after learning the basics from any of the resources, build the stuff onto your own. Start building things which you feel can be useful for you or can be useful for the people around you. And if you want to know that how to build a production grade app which can be an idea into your mind, how to go step by step into the development journey, then I've already had a video onto this topic on my channel, which is how to build a software product. You can search that video on my channel, or I will share the link of the video in the description below or in the pinned comment. Now, another last thing I want to tell you is that whichever technology you choose to work onto, stick with it for at least 2 to 3 years, because that's the amount of time it takes for any technology to go from amateur level to the pro level, or if you want to build your career in the future depending on the technology you choose. And that will help you to gain a best of best expertise onto that technology and can help you to become a pro grade developer on that technology. So yeah, best of luck with your journey, and here this video ends. So if this video added some value in exchange to the time you given to this video, then surely like this video, share it with your friends. So that's all from my side. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Namaste.